So we're here at the IFSC in Arco, and I found the legend that is Charlie Boscoe, who used to have my job, in fact.
And did it a lot better?
I'd say you had a style, a certain way of doing it. I feel like I've improved, but, you know.
Put your comments underneath the video, Twitter, let us know what you think. Let's have some sort of voting system.
Matt versus Charlie, the revenge. So Charlie, what do you do here at the IFSC? What's your job?
So I've taken a big step up from doing your job.
Is it better paid than my job?
Probably not, but it's very, in terms of experience and skills required, much higher level. You'll get there one day. No, basically, I work as the IFSC's World Cup presenter and World Championships. Hello and welcome to the final of the third IFSC Boulder World Cup of 2016. So we go to every World Cup in every discipline. We do the World Championships and we're also doing the Youth World Championships. So I think it's 20 events. We kind of lost track on how many it is, but it's roughly 20 events.
Who's the co-commentator for this one?
I can't reveal that. No, we normally try to get a route setter for one, and we try and get an athlete for one, so you get a bit of perspective on what they were thinking with the routes. That's always really interesting. And then generally for the final, we try and get an athlete who's knocked out in the semi-final, so they can say what it was like climbing in front of the crowd, how the routes felt, what the conditions were like, and give a bit of insight to the behind the scenes. I'm Charlie Boscoe, joined today by Yanei Kruder, and we are coming to you from Chongqing in China.
One thing I'm really bad at, and people tell me this on YouTube all the time, is names of athletes. I'm rubbish at pronouncing them. Do you practice in your hotel room?
Honestly, I try and ask people, but there are some names that I really struggle with, and even though I can say them in my hotel room, when I do practice, and I hope no one ever hears me, I do practice, but sometimes when it's live you just can't quite get it out fast enough, and yeah, I don't always manage it. I try my best though, and apologies to anyone who's had their name pronounced wrong.
Sorry, you can give me some tips later, we'll sit down, it'll be fine. So can you show me a bit around the sort of backstage and behind the scenes bit of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to say the mic and I'll just follow?
Oh, it's like old times.
No. Don't get too cool.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. So, Charlie, take me around. Show me what's going on around the back here.
I just didn't feel comfortable doing it for you. So yeah, this is where I sit. So obviously, when we get to each event, we have to find somewhere to set up.
You know when you've made it when your headphones has your name written on it. Can you see this, Matt? Look, we have Charlie Boscoe's actual headphones here.
There is actually a technical reason for that, which is that when we do the live interviews, you can only hear the person talking in one set of headphones. So often my co-commentator, well, all the time, my co-commentator can't hear what was said in the live interview, and I'll turn to them and go, well, that was interesting, wasn't it? And they go, I don't know.
There's lots of people being very focused and concentrated here, and I feel like we're about to disturb them.
No, as always, we share our space. The space is usually quite tight. This is my workstation, if you like. If you watch the little short 90-second interviews on the IFSC Facebook, I record them and edit them.
Okay, and in here there's a load of computers, some pictures. There's loads of computer screens. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 computer screens.
So again, we take all this equipment to all the World Cups. This is our live streaming equipment. It's always the same kit and it's always the same people, and sometimes I'm in the room while they're actually doing the direction and stuff, depending on the setup in the venue, and it's pretty incredible to watch. But yeah, this is all our direction equipment.
It's super professional. I suppose as sort of like climbing comes into the Olympics and it becomes more high profile, this is going to become the norm for most competitions.
Yeah, well, it's been the norm for our competitions, and we've introduced things like PTZ cameras, which is pan tilt zoom. They're the black cameras you might see mounted on the walls at times, and they can spin in 360 degrees, zoom right in, pan up and down, hence the name. This is the sort of angle that I normally operate on.
I've climbed with you, I know. This is a bit steep, actually, Charlie.
Take that dagger out. Oh my God. That's getting me back for saying that I was better at your job.
To be fair, Charlie Boscoe taught me every bit of alpine climbing I really know. So the athletes will come here just to sort of warm up just before they start climbing, right?
Yeah, during the competition, obviously, a certain area is designated as isolation because the athletes can't see the route. And the route setters have to think quite carefully about that. So they put on fake holes onto the route. So in case a coach was to see it or an athlete was to see it, they can't read the route, because once the athletes have entered isolation and isolation's closed and they're all in there and they've all had their phones taken away, the route setters will go up on the cherry picker and pull off 10 holes. So the route doesn't look how it did when the public could see it.
The qualification round's a bit different though, isn't it? Because the athletes do get to see that and they do get to almost practice it and pre-plan what they're going to do.
Yeah, so the qualification routes are visible beforehand and you can just wander around and look at it and plan it and talk it through with your coach. But semi-finals and finals, the athletes are in isolation, they can't see the route.
So this is the part where the athletes will sit all roped up just before they go on, right?
Yeah, and it's often quite cool. In the days before the competition, in some of the big venues, in the arenas and stuff, you can walk out like the athletes do and you really get a sense of what it must be like for them to walk out, especially somewhere like in Innsbruck or in Paris. You walk out in this huge arena and you're blinded by lights, and even when the arena's empty, you really get a sense of it, and it is quite cool actually to do the walk. But yeah, this is the last area they go into before they enter onto the route.
Cool, well, I think we've seen pretty much everything we want to see, but last thing I want to ask, have you got any guesses on the results for tomorrow? Who's going to win?
Well, it would seem from this year I have one of the worst commentators' curses ever. It's almost instantaneous as well. Just as it comes out of my mouth that they're doing well or that they're not doing well, they then do exactly what I said they wouldn't do. So I'm going to just keep my mouth shut and keep my money in my pocket.
That's probably wise. Cool. Charlie, thanks so much for showing us around, and stay away from my job, yeah?
Good to see you again, Matt. And you're doing a great job. I'm only joking. I did a slightly better one, but you're doing a great job.
Thanks, Charlie. Cheers for that.